Warning, the following program is designed for casual wrestling fans and is meant purely for entertainment. If you're SAWFT, proceed at your own risk. Viewer discretion is advised.
Brother, I'm going run a wild Hulk Hogan. If I get some moment, I'll make sure it's an explosion. Cause lately I've been seeing stars, trying to kick out on this joy cord. But it's no holds barred, middle fingers like I'm Stone Cold.
What is up, everybody? It is WeTooDeep. We're back here with DJWAVYD, supporting our Celtics, who are kicking some ass right now.
Big facts.
18 banner now up in TD Garden. Beautiful,
yes,
beautiful
rings.
Great way to start the season by beating New York, because anytime New York loses, I'm happy. But let's get into some wrestling here. As always, the link for the two affiliates that we are, whether it's WWE Shop, or you can get your any of your WWE merch that you like, any of the new shirts. I know Motor City Machine Guns now has a shirt. War Raiders, if you're a fan of them, they got a shirt out. Dom and Judgment Day, we're wearing that Street Trash shirt. If you want to go get you one of those, click our link, support the show, as well as the link for Expedia, where you can, plan maybe like a winter vacation, or, if you're planning for, WrestleMania or SummerSlam, book through Expedia through our link in the description. Outside of that, let's get to our Let's Get Cooking segment. And this one's a little bit complicated, but not much. So it's, imagine there was a cross-promotional crossover event where wrestlers from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and TNA all involved. Who would you book for the main event? And you can say who you would have win if you want to. I'm not going to, but who would your main event be of that show?
Okay. There's two ways you can go. We want to get the best of the best and just do a mano y mano?
Right.
Or we can get their buddies and do a group versus group kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm kind of thinking is we get the OG bloodline back together, little Roman, Usos, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even get a Solo Sikoa in there if we need the numbers. And we put them up against, while it was Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But now I guess we could do Okada, but Okada's name isn't as bright as it once was.
Right.
But in a dream world where these guys are all at their peaks, if you asked me this like a year ago,
right,
it would have easily been Roman and the Usos versus Okada and the Young Bucks.
Okay.
You can even throw Jack Perry in there. We could throw Solo Sikoa in there. But another right answer is a Shield triple threat match. Roman, Seth, John Moxley / Dean Ambrose, however you want to look at him. And then you can go a fatal four-way. The best guy from each promotion, the top dog from each promotion. You could do a Roman or a Cody versus Swerve, or it depends who you look at. The top guy of AEW is. I mean, The easy way is you take the world champion from each promotion, but you got WWE who got two world champions,
right?
So you take Cody or Roman. We'll say AEW top guy. We'll say John Moxley for argument's sake. Right. Top guy. New Japan. I don't watch New Japan. Huh? Who's their top guy right now? Kenta?
They're a champion? The champion's Zack Sabre Jr.
Is he really like the top guy, though?
He's not the top guy, but he's the guy they're pushing right now.
It's kind of who's the top guy after like Omega and Okada left? Is it Kenta? Who's the big New Japan guy?
I mean, I would assume it was Kenta's name. Kenta would be one of the bigger names.
And you throw Moose in there, or
right.
That's kind of the three matches I'm kind of throwing out there.
So would Moose be the big name for TNA, or would you? Because I would say Joe Hendry's probably a bigger name.
Nah, I don't think Joe Hendry has the body of work.
Right.
To kind of go against other guys.
Okay.
I mean, and like also like I don't really look at Ziggler as the top guy. He's kind of like he's on layaway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's on borrowed time. I think.
So what about someone like Mike Bailey?
Nah, he's too small.
Right. Okay. So
he's I think Moose is like their company guy, been there for years, multi-time world champ. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I'm going the fatal four-way. I think this is the easiest way to book this match. It's a fatal four-way that involves all four promotions. Now, if this event were ever to happen, I'm not going to say it won't ever happen. Vince McMahon's out of the way. Triple H would be a little bit more receptive to this idea. If this were to happen, I think this would solely be booked to appease the casual, or not, excuse me, the non-casual, the hardcore super fans of pro wrestling.
Yep.
So with that being said, the main event, as much as Roman Reigns deserves to be in them, I don't think Roman Reigns will be a part of this show. I think he doesn't have the in-ring style that the fans that would watch the show would want. So I'm looking at who was the best, I guess, in the ring for each company that fits that sort of indie show style. And so for AEW, that's Will Ospreay.
I forgot about Will. I forgot about him.
For AEW, it's Will Ospreay. For WWE, it's Gunther. I mentioned him earlier with New Japan, Zack Sabre Jr., and then, which I'm pretty sure that triple threat has happened somewhere in the Indies in Europe somewhere. And then you throw in for TNA, I was going to put Mike Bailey because he's the more sort of like flippy, like indie guy, but he is really small. And so I was sitting here, who else puts on really good matches in that company that would fit this sort of style? So I'm putting Josh Alexander in this match. So nice. Josh Alexander, Zack Sabre, Gunther, and Will Ospreay. If this match is on the card, some indie darling fan in the IWC will they'll get a few buys from it. I don't know. I guess so. I got this question from AI. I ran out of ideas, so I had Chat GTP write me some ideas. They went long on this one. Like, how would you book it? Definitely wouldn't have Gunther talk and promote this match because no one will watch it.
With a couple of names that you named, like with Ospreay and with Zack Sabre Jr., I think I would replace Gunther with like Seth Rollins.
Okay. There's some
or even Cody Rhodes.
Okay. I could see that. Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. Cody will probably be the best. He fits that style of that. He's worked Japan before. He knows what they would like. Yeah.
Well, low key, we should book a couple of the undercard matches too.
Okay.
I'm definitely the tag team matches are juicy. Okay.
Right.
Like if we don't want to put the Usos in the main event, imagine Usos versus Bucks versus TNA. You want to say like ABC or a better tag team up from over there?
ABC would probably make the most sense because they have sort of connection with the Bullet Club. So they could you can have like New Japan Bullet Club versus TNA Bullet Club versus the Bucks versus
or even you can do the System. Eddie Edwards and what's the other guy? Myers,
Kurt Hawkins, not Buddy Murphy, Brian Myers.
Brian Myers.
Yeah.
And New Japan, I already know.
I don't know their tag teams anymore. So all the ones that I know were the Bucks, Guerrillas of Destiny, which are the new bloodline now. They're all the ones that I know are gone. So, I mean, I'm looking at like a mid card type match, like Bronson Reed versus Minoru Suzuki. That would be maybe throw in an Eddie Kingston, just a big slobber knocker type match.
Eddie Kingston versus Gunther. You can show what real chops look like.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Otis versus Mortos.
Otis?
OT. Oh, okay. So here we go. Otis and Akira Tozawa versus Mortis, or whatever his name is, him and Hologram. Say if Mortis and Hologram, that their program goes long enough to where like they respect each other and they become tag teams.
Right.
You get Prince Puma versus. I mean, we've seen this direction against a lot of WWE guys, but Prince Puma versus.
If we're going to use the Prince Puma gimmick, that's the Lucha Underground gimmick. You could put Karrion Kross because they fought each other in Lucha Underground. I think Roman has a place on this card. It's just not the main event. Unless you want to like make money and actually make money with this, you could do like Roman versus Moxley makes the most sense. But I mean, throwing Seth, have that triple. I like that. I think we need a Shield triple threat at some point.
Rhea Ripley versus Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Or even like a Becky versus Jordan Grace versus I don't know, Mercedes or actually I like Willow Nightingale a lot, but she's not their biggest name.
Right.
You can do Transformer Mariah May. I'm trying to think who represent AEW for the women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you can say Britt Baker, but I want to see. Oh no, she hasn't had the best like last couple matches. Britt Baker. So I'm thinking like what other women can put in there. Like Mariah May had a good match. I'm a big Willow Nightingale fan, but her name isn't big enough. I don't think.
I like Willow. I just don't think a lot of people outside of AEW know who she is. I do like Willow though. Tiffany versus Mariah May makes a lot of sense to me.
Asuka versus Thunder Rosa.
Okay.
Or Asuka versus
Asuka versus Thunder Rosa is that MILF match that everyone wants.
What's her name? She was the former AEW Women's Champion. Akira Tashida. No, what's her name?
Shida. Yeah, Hikaru Shida. Yeah.
Her versus Asuka, or her versus.
She's a little dangerous though. She's a little dangerous though. She's the reason Sky Blue broke her ankle.
They're fragile over at AEW. Everyone's breaking their fucking ankle over.
So, are we considering Athena part of AEW? Since she's Athena,
you can throw her in there.
Yeah, she can get a match somewhere on the lower card. Athena versus. I don't fucking know.
Stratton? I don't
know. Yeah, I mean, there's some good matches that could happen if this event went through. I would like to see a Swerve versus AJ Francis versus Ashante Lee Adonis. And then who's the other fuck that was part of that group, part of Hit Row?
Wasn't this B-Fab?
It was just them three.
It was three guys.
Yeah, so triple threat.
Especially against referee?
Yeah.
Supposed for commentary?
Leo Rush is now part of AEW. He was TNA, but I was going to say throw Leo Rush in there. But
what's another cross-promotion relationship? Oh, okay, here we go. I got you. Rhea Ripley and Buddy Murphy versus Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green.
Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up for it. Yeah, or you can do Buddy Murphy versus Dom is one everyone would probably ask for.
Yeah, we need that. We need that.
You talk about hologram versus Axiom down in NXT. They're basically the same fucking gimmick.
Oh, I like that.
That'd be a good match. Yeah, there's a lot of good crossovers we could get.
Hear me out. Nia Jax versus Nyla Rose.
Yeah. Yep. As soon as you said Nia and Sam, I knew where you were going.
Yo, just imagine they get into a shoot fight. Oh my god,
That'd be crazy.
that should be epic.
All right, let's move on though. We can sit here all night and name matches. We got some breaking news dropped on us. Like, and when I say dropped on us, I mean literally dropped on us early in the morning yesterday. Samantha Irvin is no longer with the company. Now, we've sort of already talked this out in the Discords, and the internet sort of lost their shit over this. And you and me are kind of in the same place where we don't think she's going to AEW. This is definitely, she has more career path outside of wrestling. So what's your thoughts on this? Obviously, I know you're a big fan of hers.
So so I'm not really mad that Samantha left. I just think it's unfortunate. I think she's the best ring announcer WWE has ever had, arguably wrestling has ever had. I mean, I know that's kind of like a generational thing, and you can go back and say like some of the greats, like what's his name? The ball dude who called
Howard Finkel.
Yeah, you can say Howard Finkel.
So he's the only one I would argue is better than her. Everyone's throwing in like Tony Chimmel. Tony Chimmel is only popular because of one entrance, because of Edge's entrance. Right. Or some people will say Justin Roberts. He wasn't really all that from like no one really cared about him in WWE. Like he didn't go above just because AEW treats him better than most superstars because the fans cheer him. He has his own entrance. I mean, that's why he's popular. I'm with you. The Fink would be the only one I would say is better, but there's still an argument for her, and I'm gonna let you say why you think she's the greatest.
Yeah, I'm saying she's top two. In my opinion, she's not two. Nerdy D, saying we had a discussion with him in the chat and on his show or whatever, right? And he was saying that he was saying Samantha adds like 1 or 2% to the show. I think her impact was greater. I think we definitely undermined or underrated her impact in getting certain superstars over, like when Imperium came to the main roster and she was announcing like Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. Saying like she's getting like excitement behind these names, and we kind of looked at them more as just Gunther's like stooges. Saying we were calling for them to be world tag team champions. Chelsea Green, who Chelsea will get over her own right, but even like Samantha just added a little extra flair to Chelsea.
Right. And she would be one that I would disagree with Nerdy D on. I don't think Chelsea Green gets over by herself. She's great. She's good comic relief. But as far as like someone taking her serious, if it's just someone saying her name, okay, like I agree with you. The added flair that Sam Irvin added to certain superstars made you think of them a little bit different.
And if I like how she goes into the matches not knowing the results, so like. She's a fan too, so she gets up, she's excited to announce the names. Like if you go back to when Cody won the title at WrestleMania, and you could hear Samantha like tearing up and crying, like low key, you shed a thug tear.
No, that right there is the greatest winner announcement I've ever heard.
Yeah,
just. That will go down as like you play that. It's going to go down as one of those memories for me, where it's on the level of like Daniel Bryan winning at WrestleMania 30, where you shed you get a little bit teary eyed when you look at it. So I agree with you on that aspect. I also kind of side with Nerdy D in that. So his argument of that Samantha Irvin or ring announcers in general only add like 1 or 2% to the product. My argument against that would be if you take that 1% out, you have an incomplete product. She's still she's the best in the business right now. I would only put Howard Finkel above her, and that's even an argument that she could be above Finkel. Because the 1% she did do added to the show. Whereas you look at someone like Mike Rome, I like Mike Rome, but there's a reason he's on NXT. He gets sent down back to NXT. Whenever he did announcing, he didn't really add much to it. Where I will agree with Nerdy D, though, is they'll find someone else and they'll move on. So I'm 100% happy for whatever she chooses to do. I don't think it's wrestling.
Yeah, I don't think it's AEW.
I just this idea and the IWC had that Samantha Irvin's going to go from, announcing Cody Rhodes winning the title in front of 80,000 people to announcing random collisions, because she's not going to be on Dynamite. They're not going to move Justin Roberts. So you're going to put her on Collision or ROH in front of like 300 people.
Yeah, nah.
It's not happening.
So Samantha also said that this decision has kind of been in the works for months.
Yeah,
like she didn't just drop it on the day of. They probably came to their they came to their how we're gonna part ways that day, because I doubt Lily Garcia is just chilling in Philly random Monday.
It was announced like a month ago that Lillian re-signed a veterans contract, and it was out of the blue. No one really knew why they were signing all these veterans. And it comes out, okay, WWE's just not going to have Lillian Garcia on speed dial. Hey, we need you in Philly.
Yeah.
I with Vince McMahon, I think this would have been handled a little differently. But I respect Triple H enough to be like, hey, you want to go do something? We don't want you to do it while you work for us, but we'll let you go. I respect that he did let her leave. He's done it now with Kayla Braxton and now Sam Irvin. It sucks that they're gone. Nerdy D does have a point. They'll move on. They'll find someone else. There's plenty of people in-house. I don't think there'll be anyone as good as her, but someone will take that place. Lillian Garcia for the part-time, and then as soon as we find the next person to fill that role,
the number one containers match,
right? That's crazy. You bring up Raw. We're going to spend the rest of the episode talking about that. Before we get into the individual segments, you gave this a 3 out of 10 last night.
Yeah.
What's your? I know your reasoning, but why don't you sort of explain? You said it was none of the people you liked were on the show. What was your reason for giving it a 3 out of 10?
So, a lot of my peoples weren't there, or if they were there, they weren't featured prominently. Like, I'm trying to see more Dom and Liv. They were there for like the first 3 minutes of the show, and then like had one backstage segment where they weren't even really like the focus of it. And so I need more Dom and Liv. I want more Rhea. So they got rid of like the whole. They moved past the Judgment Day and Rhea storyline within the first like 3 minutes of the show. Also the Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed thing, it was cool, but how many times are we gonna get them fighting backstage? It was like 3 or 4 segments of them getting to a fight backstage. I feel like 2 times is more than enough. Them fighting 3 times, backstage and out in the ring and then backstage again. It's cool. I feel like this episode of Raw was missing a good promo, especially like leading into Bad Blood. We had promos from Drew McIntyre, promos from CM Punk, promos from like Cody and all these guys holding down the show, and like Rhea, and we had some really good promos heading into Bad Blood. Now, like this past episode of Raw, not really any good speakers got a chance to get the mic and tell a story. Let's see. I like Raquel's vignette. It showed her intensity. She's no longer smiling. She's not worried about her back, and she sounded a little fierce. She reminded me of NXT Raquel. She was fierce. Carlito, while he was a small highlight of the show, we got the IWC being a bunch of soft ass bitches and complaining about him. The same people who don't mind seeing a syringe being used in someone's mouth in a match, or unprotected chair shots, or plastic bags over their head, or gory blood. But oh my God, Carlito says Chinese instead of Korean or Japanese, and it's a shit show. Xavier is going to turn. We'll get into that, the whole Xavier stuff. But Uncle Howdy and all them, like the segment was, I guess it was done okay, but it goes into American Made not winning, and I understand why they didn't win. I actually agree with them not winning this match, but people in the chat were mad about it. The Jey Uso Bronson Braun Breaker thing was very predictable. Predictable is not bad because it advances that story, but I feel like you could have also did it a different way. Maybe like Roman helps him retain or something, but just cut into the chase and having them cost him the title. It gets the story moving, so I'm not mad against that. But yeah, and also I feel like we're missing some funny segments. Like we're missing some good funny stuff to break up all this like seriousness or wrestling. Like R-Truth is distracted doing some other not funny stuff. Like Kira, Tozawa, and Otis can barely get any TV time. Yeah, just like all we need is like a funny, like a 30-second funny little segment backstage. Say get some laughs, like maybe some like off-site shots. To do some stuff that's like off location, some vignettes or video packages. There was no stud line. I'm a big stud line fan. No stud line.
It's not a problem.
There was even no Bianca or Jade. I know I'm not the biggest like, I love Bianca as a wrestler. I'm not the biggest fan of Bianca when it comes to Baddie of the Night, but like, I love Bianca in the ring, and I want to see her and Jade progress. But there was just stories that weren't really doing it for me. I feel like the wrestlers were kind of going through the motion in the ring. I wasn't seeing enough like charisma in the ring. Clean. It was clean wrestling, but I need some charisma. The wrestlers were lacking charisma.
Right. I feel that. So I think for me, I gave it originally a 5. I'm willing to maybe give it a 6 out of 10. I like a lot of what we got. I think we'll break down the individual segments now. So Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins was sort of the thing that sort of brought the show together. They had like 4 segments throughout the whole show, which eventually led to a match at Crown Jewel being made. I enjoyed it. I mostly enjoyed Seth Rollins because he's edgy. He's not, walking around in Becky's closet anymore. So I enjoyed that. I do kind of agree with you. Having 3 backstage fighting segments was a little bit too much. This could have been one of those things where, like, I feel a lot of times they make their producers and their security meaningless by having them get beat up all the time. This could have been one of those things where, like, you restrain them and, like Kevin Owens literally gets suspended for beating up Cody Rhodes. Why is Bronson Reed allowed to just go around and beat up Seth Rollins whenever he wants to? So I think this could be a thing where, like, Adam Pearce suspends Bronson Reed from Raw until his match at Crown Jewel. That's the next time he'll be able to step foot in a ring or whatever. Something that keeps up, because it does get a little bit monotonous and it's overused. That Bronson Reed beating up everyone is a little bit overused. I like that they're pushing them. I think they're overusing this. I'm just going to beat up whoever I want gimmick. There needs to be some consequences. You know, if Adam Pearce can't run the show, let's go find someone to help him. Maybe an assistant GM, maybe some sort of security crew that can actually restrain Bronson Reed. You know, that would be fun. A story in and of itself. We move forward to Raquel. I like the vignette. I'm just not there with her yet. It's going to take some time for me to get over the previous 2 years of Raquel Rodriguez, where she was smiling all the time, and you know her entire gimmick was I have a muscular back. I'm not 100% over that yet to where I believe this gimmick. I know she can do it. You gotta give me maybe 1 or 2 more weeks of this same level of performance, and then I'll believe it. Carlito, for whatever reason, the most simplest moment that most people forgot about, didn't even write notes. I mean, Ryan Alvarez and Dave Meltzer discussed the show on their podcast today. I saw the clip. They didn't even write down notes as to what happened. And they write notes for everything. They didn't even know what happened. And the IWC is all up in arms over what's quite literally a joke. And it fits the gimmick. It's right. The same people that say, we want the Attitude Era back. I'm happy we're on Netflix. We're going to get edgier programming. Can't even take a bumbling buffoon, idiot type character mistaking Chinese or Japanese as Chinese. They say they want the Attitude Era, but they really don't want it. Either that or they're just having a bunch of fake outrage and no one will care in 2 days, and we'll move on from it. But we have people calling for his job, that he should be fired, which is crazy. Apparently the line was not scripted, was completely ad-libbed, which I like. I like that he was able to do something funny, because you were right. The show was lacking something that broke up the seriousness of Monday Night Raw. And whether it is Tozawa, whether it is R-Truth, whether it is Carlito, some sort of R-Truth goes to the wrong arena. You know, he goes to the ECW arena on accident. They're in Philly. That would have been kind of funny. And could also help you promote NXT, because they're going to the ECW arena in about 3 weeks. So I don't know. You're right. They're missing a little bit of that comedy. But I don't even think you can do comedy in wrestling anymore, because anytime you do it, IWC flips out. But it's also the same group that was completely fine 2 or 3 years ago when Vicky Guerrero told Thunder Rosa to go take her green card and go back where she came from. So I don't understand. Like, I don't understand what the outrage is. I really don't. If the comment was made like not jokingly, then sure, we can suggest maybe taking a look as to why he said it. But obviously, he was just playing his character.
Yeah, he's like, all he said was, I got to listen to Chinese.
Right. And it was sort of like, the way I took it was, I need to go learn how to speak Chinese so I can go pick up those pretty Asian girls.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought he was like, he's trying to say that they bad.
Because, well, wasn't it like a week or two ago that he was sort of like flirting with Raquel? Yeah,
it was last week.
Yeah. So I feel like that's what his gimmick is he's sort of what Sante the Adonis is doing on NXT, just sort of flirting around, trying to put game on women. And that's funny. And so that's how I took it. He wanted to go pick up some Asian women, and so he needs to go learn, but he's an idiot, doesn't realize they're Japanese, not Chinese. And so I don't know. I just feel like the fan base, especially the internet fan base, you got people working for like all these dirt sheets who are on their personal accounts talking about how it's unacceptable. WWE should never have let this happen. Like, no, stop it. Just this happened all the time. This still happens in locker rooms today. Like, I don't know. I don't complain about this and then say next week we can't wait to get PG-14 WWE back. Xavier Woods. My question is he ever going to turn? You made a point that I actually kind of agree with. I don't know if this turn's going to really hit the way it could have had it happened a month ago. They've prolonged it so long that the match is still going to be a banger if it even happens, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the point of all this is. At some point, Xavier Woods is going to have to actually attack Kofi Kingston. And it feels like that they want to lead us to, again, it's Triple H trying to book big moments at big shows only. And so it may happen at Crown Jewel, it may happen at Survivor Series, but it should have happened 2 weeks ago on the build-up to Bad Blood. I don't know about you. I would have liked the Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston Part 1 at Bad Blood instead of Finn and Damian. I think that would have probably been a better match. So we sort of end that match and we get Final Testament in the ring, and Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six are back. What's your thoughts on this? Final Testament, Wyatt Six. I think they're a match made in heaven. They should have started with this rather than stopping any momentum. Because the way I looked at this was, if you started with the Final Testament, with the Wyatt Six, you have the Wyatt Six run through a meaningless tag team, meaningless faction, and then at the same time have Chad Gable beat Sami Zayn for the IC title, go to SummerSlam, have Otis win the title, and then Gable brings in American Made and makes that faction, and then you have the Wyatt Six attack American Made, which American Made can then go over the Wyatt Six, and it makes some sort of a strong type faction. Instead, it feels like American Made and Alpha Academy are just going to lose every match they're in. So what's your thoughts on Howdy, the Wyatt Six, and Final Testament?
I think one reason I wasn't like really feeling this segment is because I feel like they just kind of took three stories that were all separate and threw them all together.
Yeah.
Or four stories are all separate, threw them together. Like you had Xavier and Woods doing their own thing. You had the breakup of Miz and Truth.
Right.
They were doing their thing. You had Chad Gable and American Made who were facing the Howdies, the Wyatt Six or whatever.
Right.
Which I don't think that one was bad because didn't American Made go over in that street fight? I forgot who went over.
I think Howdy and them won.
Oh.
I don't think American Made ever won any of the matches they had against them.
I think those guys all got involved because the Final Testament and Xavier were doing their story for like the last 4 months.
Right.
So they're kind of occupied, but now Triple H kind of throw them all together. And low key, I'm not even sure where this is going. I feel like if I had known any better and I didn't know that they're doing Bloodline versus Bloodline at War Games,
right,
I would think we're getting some fucking Final Testament versus Howdy bullshit.
Right. Absolutely. I read something that last night was the last night we'll see Paul Ellering. That's sort of the way they write him off.
Yeah, I mean, he's like 71 years old.
He's like 71. He's his initial run before AOP got released the first time. They wouldn't leave. He didn't join them to the main roster because he didn't want to travel.
Yeah.
So I'm certain he's a little bit annoyed with all the travel.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest. They're really messing up Karrion Kross. Like even like NXT carrying Cross was good, but his Lucha Underground and TNA stuff was very good. If people go back and watch it, he's a really good promo, decent in the ring, and Scarlett can actually wrestle. I hate that they don't let her wrestle.
Mm.
I would love to see a Scarlett versus Nikki Cross match.
Is there a chance that maybe they don't find a way to book a women's one? It would just get 2 men's War Games matches?
I could see it happening.
Because
I
right
don't know.
now, the only women's War Games I can see being lined up is the stud line versus the babyface jobbers.
Right, which they sort of like teased it, and then none of them have been on TV the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
I think Raw is really Triple H is struggling with 2 hours of Raw. He's struggling to get all these storylines and talent on the show.
Yep.
And also, I guess tying in all these commercials. I'm not sure. I feel like they got 3 hours worth of commercials in 2 hours now. I feel like hella commercials.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we get 1 or 2 War Games matches still?
I still think we get 2. I would assume it's 1 men, 1 women's, but I would prefer, at least storyline wise, 2 men's, because there's nothing for the women. There's no War Games match that anyone would want to see in the women's division right now.
Because you can look at either roster, unless somehow you run the NXT Women's War Games, but even that's stretching it.
So it'll be like the stud line and
it should have been Raquel. I think Raquel would have been a great member of the stud line.
Yeah. The stud line and the witches, dental control, or potentially damage control in that spot, versus the babyface jobbers, Lyra, Kaden and Katana, and Natalia and Selena, which just a bunch of people thrown together make no sense. So I would prefer, Bloodline, all of that bullshit, in 1, and then
Crown Jewels on the 1st or 2nd. It's the
on
first
the 2nd.
weekend.
It's
a Saturday, right?
Yeah. So this Sunday is Halloween Havoc. The next Saturday is.
I'll be at the casino. Maybe I'll watch. Well, it comes on in the afternoon, right? Or like Howdy.
Yeah, I think it is an afternoon show.
Low key, I'll be at the hotel with the boys. Low key, I mean they're not wrestling fans really. A couple of them are. Maybe I'll watch it with the boys, some non-wrestling fans, and get the reaction.
Right.
But because that's on the 1st or the 2nd, and then you got War Games, which is what, like the 29th or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks later.
Like you're gonna have to do a lot of booking to get War Games set up.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it.
Because we got what? Is it gonna be Cody versus KO or KO versus Randy? Who's gonna be the War Games match? I assume Cody and KO. Yeah, Cody.
I'm assuming it'll be Cody and KO. Maybe a Randy interference. But I think we could probably see like Cody KO, and like KO takes out Orton in the build up to the match.
What's currently the Saudi card? You got the champion versus champion, 2 of those.
You got
of those. Braun and Seth.
You Bronson and Seth. Anything else?
Do they know where they're gonna do the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match yet? I know they got the finals this Friday, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's on Saudi Arabia or on Crown Jewel, or if it's like on a random SmackDown.
They should do that, Crown Jewel. We haven't seen SmackDown titles on PLE in forever.
Yeah, they should.
Finn and JD are facing. What?
They're doing their own tournament on Raw now too.
Yeah,
so I'm assuming those because we have the 2.
We got New Day versus who's New Day facing?
New Day
versus JD.
No, so New Day is moving on, and
Rey Mysterio and
Dragon Lee are moving on, and I think they're doing 2 more qualifiers next week, and then I think the week after that would be
what other tag teams do they have over there?
I don't know,
because it was New
unless
Day
the finals are next week. Unless the finals are next week, I don't know how they don't ever show brackets to tournaments anymore.
Because it was New Day versus Final Testament or AOP
Right.
or whatever,
Right?
and then you had the Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus
American Made.
American Made.
So I mean, you have Alpha Academy, but
what's another tag team over there?
I don't know if there's any other tag teams. Part of me thinks we get the women's tag team match there. Bianca and Jade, I'm assuming, against Chikara and Lash Legend. And then one of the
Saudi handle 4 strong black women? I don't know if Saudi can handle 4 strong black women.
That's a good question.
Cool, who are more built than them? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. We got 3 matches already, so we're probably only gonna get 2 more on the card. I don't know where we're going with it. This is part of the I understand why they do Saudi. It's just these matches don't mean jack shit.
No,
but speaking of titles, we got Braun Breaker winning back the title. We have a catalyst now for Jey to get back in with Roman because the new bloodline cost him the title. I like it, but at the same time, I feel like they could have done this because that referee towards the end of the match was just not looking. He just was not doing his job.
I'm pretty sure he low-key saw it too.
Right. There was just an entire 3 minutes where Jacob Fatu was beating up Jey Uso, where the ref just could have turned around. No one was talking to him. He was just not turned around.
Yeah,
it just looked weird. If anything, it should have been like one of them spots where the ref gets pulled out of the ring. That's how I don't like that. Literally half the match you had Solo and them ringside. I feel like it should have been Jay's getting ready to pin Braun. The ref gets pulled out of the ring. Jacob hits him with a super kick, and then the thumb happens, and then the ref gets put back in, and Braun Breaker wins.
Yeah, because you're not a fan of the I have a ticket pack show.
That shit is stupid as fuck. I have a ticket, but I'm not going to be there the whole first hour and a half of the show.
Well, I mean, low key, they don't need to be there though. They're trying to surprise them.
I get it, but why the fuck do you need a ticket? You work for the company.
It's the mind games. I don't know.
I
mean, low key, it kind of plays into the separate rosters. If they're SmackDown superstars, they got no business being there.
But it doesn't play into the separate rosters because that whole illusion's already been broken when you allow Randy Orton to walk into an arena. I know there's a previous engagement, but why wouldn't if I work for a company and I just don't work at one store but not the other, I still work there. I can still go inside and get my discount. I don't know. I have a ticket, but I'm going to miss the first hour and a half. And then I'm going to come sit front row and pull this ticket. It makes no sense to me because everyone knows you don't have a ticket.
It looked real to me.
I mean, it could have been a real fucking ticket, but you didn't need to get a ticket. You work for the company.
Yeah, but they work for SmackDown.
Your entire
they weren't invited to Raw.
But even then, your nephew, cousin, whatever the fuck The Rock is to Solo Sikoa, he's the damn board of director or on the board of.
And where did the guy take it from? From The
I
Rock.
I don't like this idea that superstars of the WWE need a ticket. And then like they were kicking out Tama Tonga and he showed the damn referee his ticket. Motherfucker, they're kicking you out of the arena. They don't give a fuck if you have a ticket.
Yeah,
A ticket doesn't give you justification to jump the fence.
That plays into his character.
It's stupid. Stupid to me. Let's move on. We B-Master asked us some questions on Discord over the last week. So this one he asked late last week before we saw what happened with Jey. He says, do we want Jey to continue as main event Jey Uso, or do we want the OG bloodline back together? Personally, I would prefer the OG bloodline. It just makes sense for the story. I don't necessarily think Jey Uso needs to be main event Jey Uso anymore. I don't know. I feel like definitely now the push is done. Any momentum he had as a single superstar is over. I think he's just always going to be viewed as a tag guy. What do you think? Do you want him as the bloodline?
Or at least as a tag team, give the Usos back together.
Right.
Because I want Usos versus Morris Machine Guns.
Yeah. That'd be a good match.
Also, SmackDown especially. Well, SmackDown does a better job of it than Raw does. But I need some tag team representation on these shows. And Raw had 3 hours for the longest time and barely show up their tag team championships.
So I don't ever think that tag team wrestling means nothing in WWE. I don't think Triple H cares about it, which is sad because literally half his career he spent in a faction or a tag team. I think it works better for him at this point. He's had his little run as main event Jey Uso. I think it's run its course. Put him back in the bloodline. It keeps him at the top of the card for a while.
The wild part is if you look back on the history of WWE, especially in the early 2000s, I feel like everybody got their time. Like it's okay to have 5-minute TV matches. We all know the PLE is where the big matches happen.
Right.
And then you also run your live shows and you do dark matches to give people like at least a match or whatever. But let's go back to having these 5-minute matches and let's get some more promos. Let's get more people on TV. Like I feel like I have vivid memories of the SmackDown tag team titles being on TV every week, whether it be with Eddie and Chavo, Eddie and Ray and Batista, the Bashams. I feel like Eminem versus whoever they want to put in front of them.
La Resistance.
Yeah, like I have vivid memories of those tag team titles being on TV every single week.
Yeah,
even on Raw. Like so, what they do on Raw is they'll put the heel tag team versus the main champion or the IC champion or whatever, and like someone had to go get find help or whatever.
Right.
Or you did a handicap match. Like I remember seeing the Highlanders. I remember seeing Crime Time. The Spirit Squad, DX holding the titles, Cody and Hardcore Holly. Like I remember these titles like vividly. Like I don't get why you can't have these tag team titles on screen more.
Well, my theory is because of who has them. They're all wrapped up in factions right now. And so when they're in factions that have zero reason to have a tag championship, like give the titles to the Street Profits, have them, they're I know they're about to turn heel, but a face Street Profit that does an open challenge every week. And any two people want to come out and fight them. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do, the tag division is such an afterthought that they're now having to do tournaments to make it feel like we got to determine your your new opponent. Like, I don't understand.
I also, one more point. I feel like back then, like we all knew who the undercard was. We all know who the jobbers were. We all
Right.
knew who wasn't as important.
Right.
And they're happy to get whatever TV time they had.
Right.
Now I feel like every wrestler in the business wants to be on the poster, wants to be in the cereal box, wants to be on the ice cream bar. Everybody wants to be a star. It's like you got like The Rock said, know your role and shut your mouth. Like Simon Dean and Val Venus, they're on TV for like 2 minutes out of a 2-hour show. And guess what? They made an impact. All right. They had action figures. They got T-shirts being sold.
Or even think of someone like Heath Slater. When he was with the company, he made something out of the I Got Kids shit with him and Rhino. He was on the television for like 3 minutes a night.
Yes.
But it meant something.
Matt Stryker doing his heel stick. The Boogeyman versus Simon Dean. That was over. That was almost two decades ago, and almost. And I can still tell you about that storyline between Simon Dean and the Boogeyman. And they had like 2 or 3 minutes every episode. And you're telling me I can't remember a story from last year between your IC champion or your US champion?
Heidenreich and Michael Cole.
Yeah.
That shit was hilarious. Wouldn't fly today because someone would find something to complain about. But yeah, I'm 100% from a storyline point of view and sort of just giving everybody time. I definitely think Vince had a really strong undercard in the early to mid 2000s, whereas wrestling as a whole has sort of just gone to like either A, we're going to have a roster full of all superstars, or B, we're just going to show the top of the card and we're not going to build anything underneath of it.
See, Vince is really good about booking pay-per-view to pay-per-view. A story started and stopped. It might have went 1 or 2 pay-per-views, maybe 3, but we knew when it was going to end, and we knew when the next one was going to start. Triple H, a story can go on for like 4 pay-per-views. They go on for 7. It could do one pay-per-view. It could do one cycle. Like Vince booked in like 4-week intervals.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. It was like it was a formula.
Yeah, I 100% like. I think Vince's booking was better than Triple H's. I do,
especially week to week.
Right. I think because Triple H has this idea of like, I want to book long term from big event WrestleMania to SummerSlam. That he says, okay, I got 12 weeks to book this story. I'm not going to do anything the first like 7 of them, and we're going to rush this thing the last 5. And it's a little clunky sometimes.
Like, how many times did John Cena go into WrestleMania or fight WrestleMania for the title? Oh, like every other year. But he didn't hold the title for the whole year just to get back to WrestleMania again.
Right.
This man, John Cena, would have like 20, 50-day reigns. Like, all I remember are the big moments. John Cena winning and doing like his little crowd surf. And guess what? That title reign lasted like 50 days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not everything has to be from WrestleMania or SummerSlam to WrestleMania.
Right. Absolutely.
Like Cody could have lost it and won it back at like, I don't know, day 1 or Saturday Night Main Event.
Right. I feel like the first Cody versus Solo match, Solo should have won the match. Because he then could have had a rematch at Bad Blood where he won it back again with Roman's help or something like that. Sort of like what they're doing with the IC title, where it feels like, you just had a long 600+ day reign. We've had 2-3 title defenses since WrestleMania. I like that. I think we need champions that are able to lose at any time. Obviously, like your Roman Reigns title, there was a reason why he held it for so long, and there was telling a story there. But your undercard shouldn't be having, your mid-card title shouldn't be 600-day reigns, because that should be, personally to me, I think your undercard or your mid-card champion should be defending every week as like in some sort of open challenge. That's supposed to be like your fighting TV champion. And now, unless you're a heel, then your whole story is trying to slither your way out of a match.
Yeah.
But I just don't feel like there's any real storytelling going on in the mid card right now. It's either like you're part of Judgment Day or you're part of the Bloodline, and everything else is sort of, you know, in holding until that shit gets done. B-Master's second question is, since Kevin Owens is staying with WWE, what's next for him? So we're going to answer the question, but I want to ask a second question. Are we certain Kevin Owens is staying? Because we thought Ricochet was staying because of the way they wrote him off TV. And he never came back.
Well, Kevin Owens isn't off TV, though.
Right, but his promo last week sort of been like, well, I'm suspended. You're not going to see me for a while. My whole point is, I think he gets the Cody match. But I don't think he's long-term, like, until something's announced. And I could be wrong, because we went through this whole thing with Drew McIntyre as well. My question is, are we certain he's long-term? I personally believe he is. But it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up in AEW next year. What's next for him? Obviously, it's Cody Rhodes. Maybe a Randy Orton feud after that. I don't know what else is for him to do other than to do what he's been doing. Just find someone for him to fight and keep him in the mid card. He's a name. He'll sell merchandise and tickets.
I've seen Kevin Owens stay around a lot longer, especially I feel like a lot recently we've been seeing like stuff with like him and his family backstage, and he's bringing his family around more, and they're like with him at shows, and they're backstage talking to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, Kevin Owens' son, you know, I mean, he's a gentle giant, but that motherfucker was like 6'8", 6'5".
Right.
Like we're getting that boy in the performance center pretty soon. We're getting that. We're getting him in the PC pretty soon. I mean, if Kevin Owens does a stint, I think he might do like maybe like a Forbidden Door or a Wrestle Dream or something like that, or All Out. He might do like 3 matches. I don't see Kevin Owens trying to do like hardcore blood matches anymore.
Right.
I think he might do, you know, a couple quote unquote dream matches for the marks, but I don't see Kevin Owens wrestling anymore on weekly TV for 400 people.
Right. I feel that. I think we need to. I understand your point, but we can't say that. So my issue with that argument is that it feels like every time someone has the option to jump to AEW, the casual fan base's argument is, well, he was wrestling in front of 15,000 people on a week-to-week basis. Why did he go in front of 1,500? And I think unless you've been around actual wrestlers and got to know some, it's an adrenaline thing. But I think it's also some people just do it to. Obviously, Kevin Owens would get paid, but I think Kevin Owens does it for the love of wrestling. Where, okay, yeah, there's not as many people in the arena. Not as many people are watching the TV show, but I'm with my best friends, the guys I came up in the business with, and I get to do whatever I want, essentially. Now, Kevin Owens seems to have changed a little bit from the sort of indie mark he was when he got to WWE. It would not surprise. There's a couple people on the roster where if they left and went to AEW, it would not surprise me. Him and Sami Zayn are 2 of them.
I feel like Kevin Owens is at the point in life, though, especially like an age point, to where like he did all the indie stuff. He wrestled these guys like 15 years ago. Like he's wrestled in bingo halls. He's wrestled in front of 400 people. He's wrestled like, you know, like I won't say no namers, but he's wrestled top stars across the continent and in high school gyms. I feel like if Kevin Owens goes to AEW, he's not doing weekly TV matches. Kevin Owens is going in there with maybe like 3 to 5 matches. He's like Tony, you got me for these 2 to 5 big matches, and that's what I'm doing. He's probably like, I'm doing me and Sammy one more time, me and Sammy versus the Bucks. I'm doing me versus like maybe Zack Sabre Jr. or something. Kevin's not like he's a prize fighter, but also I don't see him doing two-way matches, especially like where Kevin Owens is now. I think Kevin Owens from the outside looking in, he seems like a locker room leader and a nice guy, and he respects the business. I feel like if he got put in that spot like what CM Punk got put into, going from like the professional, like everyone has their own role in WWE to like the circus backstage that's AEW. I feel like Kevin Owens might be the next guy to punch somebody in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think Kevin Owens needs that.
I feel that,
especially if they don't treat him with respect. Because Kevin Owens put his time in. He wrestled these guys in ROH and everything. He put his time in.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, so we're gonna move to end the show with Thirsty Tuesday. As we stand right now, Wavy D is 5 people moved on to the second round to my 3. The updated brackets in the Discord, y'all go ahead and join and see that. The new matchups are available to vote now. The first matchup on my team is BB Rexa, which, for Wavy D, I hear who thinks that I don't like thicker girls. Here's proof that I find some of them attractive.
Somehow it's crazy.
Versus, I don't know how to say her first name.
Mila Kunis.
No.
Vanessa Hutchins?
No, the other one. Jhene. Is it Jenny?
Oh, Janae.
Janae Aiko against BB Rexa. Mila Kunis is on my team versus Vanessa Hudgens. We have Angel Reese versus Scarlett Johansson. And we have on my team someone y'all probably don't know because I didn't know about her till the Olympics. Ilona Mayer. She's a rugby player. Won some medal over in the Olympics versus Miranda Cosgrove. So I'm gonna give you why should you win these rounds?
I mean, like in sports, right? Like in wrestling and basketball and football, we got something from the experts called an eye test. Mm-hmm. Okay. And just look at my talent. My talent passes the eye test. All right. Janae Aiko. Perfect caramel glowing skin, amazing eyebrows, racially ambiguous, okay? Gorgeous, okay? Vanessa Hutchins. Of course Mila Kunis, she was some guy's like childhood crush or whatever, watching that 70s show and stuff like that. But just remember, guys, that's the voice of Meg, okay? Just think of Meg, okay? Vanessa Hudgens.
First off, no, you don't get to use Meg as a defense as to why you can't vote Mila Kunis.
I'll say Vanessa Hudgens. Trust me, guys. Remember, she was more of y'all childhood crushes, okay? From High School Musical 1, 2, and 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she's a Disney star. Remember saying? Also, remember her in Spring Breakers. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Vanessa Hudgens. She just
the real ones know her music.
Yeah, the real ones know. we know. You know what I'm saying? The next matchup I feel like is unfair, especially because you had like 70% of the WNBA who are better looking than Angela Reese, and you chose like, ew, who gave Angela Reese a check mark? Jimbo, your brother is nasty. Your brother, bro.
So I'm gonna sit here and say this: Angel Reese cannot win this matchup. ScarJo is 100%. Like when this matchup was made, and I spun the wheels and everything, I saw this, and I'm okay losing Angel Reese here. Y'all vote Scarlett Johansson.
Well, let him know he's got a shout on the show.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's got a nasty shout out on the show. Anyway, Scarlett Johansson. I know y'all watch y'all watch the Avengers. Y'all know what's popping. Y'all know what's going on. I know y'all see Black Widow. Yeah, Angela Reese.
She's my favorite Avenger.
Angela Reese is not even in the top 80% of like WNBA good looking players. She's like not even in the top of her draft class. Okay, Cameron Brink is ahead of her. I'm not trying to be rude to her, but like she got Sid the Sloth eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Scarlett Johansson's
I'm gonna justify why I picked her, because when she was like my last minute, I have to replace these people because we had 4 people that were. So because you took Vanessa Hudgens from me, she was the first celebrity name that came to thought, and I really regret picking her. I'm 100% going to say I regret putting her on this list. But we're gonna have to live with it.
You know what I'm saying? She got cake though. I'll give her that. She got cake. She said she was gonna be sexualized, but she's doing lingerie commercials.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Also, Miranda Cosgrove. You know what I'm saying? We all know we had childhood crushes on Miranda Cosgrove, okay? Especially towards the later years of iCarly. The real ones know.
No, because when I watched iCarly, I watched it for Sam, Jeanette McCurdy. That's
we all
watched iCarly for.
We all wanted to be Freddie, okay? Everybody knows they wanted to be Freddie.
And Freddie got Sam, dog.
Bro, he was stuck in a love triangle. We all real ones know.
Yeah.
And Miranda Cosgrove, especially nowadays, beautiful woman.
She all right.
All right, so she might curse a little, but beautiful woman.
All right. Yeah. So Angel Reese, please don't vote for her. She does not deserve to beat Scarlett Johansson. I'll be very upset with y'all if y'all don't, do this right. I need someone to go balance out that vote and have James not be the only vote in the Discord. Mila Kunis, she a fiery Ukrainian, beautiful. I like Western European women, so it could just be me. BB Rexa, it depends on what version and what photo you see. I'm not going to take it away from Janae. She attractive. I think BB's a little better, though. But it's that last one, Miss Alona Mayer. She definitely, especially with the photo you took of Miranda Cosgrove. I know we're not supposed. Definitely don't judge based on the photos. I've been saying do your research every week. But if you do your research, you'll find a woman in Alona Mayer who can play rugby and beat up the girls. And when the match is over, is a fine feminine specimen. Now, if you don't like muscle mommies, I love muscle mommies. If you don't like muscle mommies, you're not going to find her attractive. But do your research. You guys, typically I give you till the solo episode, but that's not fair because that solo episode is going to be posted tomorrow. You guys will have till next Tuesday. I'll announce the winners sometime this weekend, probably. For this round, any final words before we close out this episode?
When in doubt, click the X emoji.
Do your research. That's all I want to say. Tomorrow special time and date for Wednesdays. We're gonna get the Slap and Meet Wrestling solo episode because the schedule changed for work this week. But also on Wednesdays, go check out the Casual Wrestling channel live stream because this Hear Me Out tomorrow is about to be
crazy.
Interesting for sure. But with that,
you got any Halloween plans?
I don't really give 2 fucks about Halloween. I'm off the day after Halloween, so I'm gonna go to fucking Walmart and get the half price candy and call it a day.
Well, no, but the weekend going into Halloween, not going to any bars or anything, dressing up.
No, I don't do that shit. I don't do that shit. No.
Man, I might go as Drake. You know what I'm saying? I might get like those colorful
as Drake?
Yeah. I might get like those colorful hair clips that he wore in the music video. And then also the day after on Saturday, me and my boy Ty were invited to this Shrek costume Halloween party. It's called like a far, far away party. We got dressed as like Shrek characters and stuff. We got invited out Saturday. That's over in like Boston, so I gotta make the troop out there at Ty. A little hour and a half, 2 hour drive. You know what I'm saying? But it's these girls is fine though. Sure is fine.
Nice. With that, thank y'all for watching. We will see you guys on the next episode. Don't forget, join the Discord. Click the links. Buy some merch. Book with Expedia. Help out the podcast here while doing it. And I'm just going to end the show by saying Celtics about to go back to back.
Don't make me an uncle.
So hit that subscribe, come along for the ride. AEW, WWE, we're always on side. From fantasy booking to baddies that slay. Slap and meet wrestling every Tuesday.